I am short NVIDIA. Do not short NVIDIA along with me. It is very risky. I am down a lot of money. I'm okay with it. I am down a lot of money. I'm okay with it. I am down a lot of money. I'm going to tell you something. I've started a position in 3M stock.
Welcome back to the Dan Weston channel. I know I said I was going to take leave from making content, but I'm going to have to scratch that. I'm getting so annoyed by some of this stuff. Paul just can't go away. So I wanted to go over his latest nonsense because apparently we're back to doing the buying puts, right? Or selling puts. So he tried to buy stocks for a little bit, and that didn't seem to work out very well. He tried to do naked call selling and got obliterated on NVIDIA. Go watch my old videos. So now we're back to his old tried and true of, I'm going to sell puts as a long-term value investor. Okay. So this one caught my eye because when he's very specific, we can call out some of this, like the stupidity that is Paul, because he's tricky. He's not always specific about what he's doing. So actually was a bit here. So let's watch this one part. So he says the thumbnail said he bought Alta, right? I just bought a new stock. It's Alta. Okay, so let's go to the part he is talking about what he did. Okay, we'll listen.
Get into this analysis. I'm going to show you how I'm buying the shares. Now, keep in mind, the strike price that I'm giving here is not be based off of what I value Alta at. It's based on getting a certain return on my money. Let me explain what I'm doing here. I'm doing what's called, I'm selling cash secured puts.
He writes this like no one knows what this term is.
I'm selling somebody the option.
Like again, his editor of all the Investopedia has a great page for this stuff. It's easy to look at. It makes sense. Where is his editor going? What the F is this Schaefer Investment Research?
Okay, to force me to buy a stock at a lower price at some date in the future.
Right.
So let me pull
100
up
shares
exactly
per contract.
today.
Okay.
So this is Thinkorswim. It's just something I use. I actually have my money at Merrill, but I use this for their platform.
So use Schwab's website, even though he's a Merrill guy.
Okay.
Who cares?
And I picked the date here of June 7th, 2024. 29.
Okay. I don't know if you can see this. So he picked a month, 29 days. So we're going to go with a month. That'll be important in a second. Okay.
9 days from today. And you can pick a long list.
So he's selling a put, cash secured put, 1 month out on Alta.
As soon as tomorrow, as late as January 16th, 2026, which is 600 days from now. But I picked this date. Now, what's my goal? Well,
I don't know what your goal is.
That money is going to be the option I sell somebody to make me buy.
Okay, we'll go over in a second. He's really boring about this, but you're selling a contract where you would buy the shares if it went to that price, right? So his idea is, I like the stock. If I sell, I collect premium, and then I can just wait for the friggin' stock to drop to the price that I want to pay for it, right? He's a genius. That sounds so awesome. Collect premium while you wait to buy it at a lower price. Who wouldn't want to do that? It sounds so great.
At a lower price than today. So I want to get a 15% return on my cash. So the first thing I do is say, okay, for June 7th.
He used to put like 12%, if you remember, in his DCF. Now he's saying he wants 15%. He just makes up random returns that he wants. Okay, cool. What was the return he was going for on his NVIDIA short? Because I think losing 10 million, I think he missed the mark, let's say.
Do I need to get based on what strike price to get is above 3?
Okay, so
to buy all.
So he did 350 strike, okay, and he paid $4.20 for it. Okay, so we'll roll with that. I'm gonna go forward a bit.
345.80. So I have a loss here of $5.80. But guys, today the stock is at $396. I now get to buy it at a much lower price and be paid to wait for the stock to go to the price I want to. And
this is such a dumb concept. And so he said it, that's just what I said. He's like, I'm so smart. I click premium while I wait for the stock to drop to the price that I wanted. Oh, look at me, I'm Paul. I've showed you 2 portfolio reviews. He always underperforms. Good markets, bad markets. He always underperforms. I'm going to do a 3rd portfolio review. I'm pretty sure it's even worse than the first 2 soon. So why does he underperform so much? Okay. So I can show you he underperforms, but now it's like, to me, this is why he is such a terrible investor. So he's so committed to this puts thing. He thinks it's such a smart idea. So I'll pull this up. My friggin' 5-minute math. It's very general. So it's friggin' late. Okay, so 350 strike there. So he got a 350 strike. This is one contract. Okay, so we're talking about 35,000, right? It's 100 shares. So $35,000 worth of Alta stock. Okay. 420 was what he said. So $420 premium for 1 month on this. So he's generating, if you annualize, he's generating something. It might be a little more than this because I'm just assuming I divided by 12 and it's a 29-day contract. So you could round up to 15 if you want, like he said. So let's say he is generating 15% annualized yield on these premium these puts that he is selling. Okay. Well, first of all, let's go look here. 15% sounds great by itself, but let's add more color to this. The average return of the S&P 500 last 5 years is 13.7%. Okay. So now does he look so smart? He is generating almost no. Now, if you contextualize 15% to 0, that sounds impressive. So, 15%, that's a lot. Well, if you just put money in VU, you would generate almost the same for way less risk. Okay. So one is selling contracts, which is one of the riskiest things you can do. That premium comes with risk, right? You're adding time decay. You're adding time with options. That's why it becomes more risky. There's no time risk with owning a stock. There's no theta decay with owning SPY or VU. So you've added risk just by that fact alone. When you have options, you've added another element to investing. So for that risk, you're generating not even 2% more return. If we look at it contextualized in that way, you're squeaking like 1 or 2% more return potentially over just owning the market. So again, I've said this before, like what he's doing, he's literally picking pennies up in front of a moving freight train. It's so pointless. Maybe I should get more into some of these premium farming channels, because like what he is doing right here, to me, I would just tell you, is a waste of your time. It's a waste of your time. You are barely getting a return greater than the market, taking on lots of risk. Okay. And we can look at Alta itself. Alta is a volatile stock. Okay. I looked up the beta. It's like 1.38, I think, currently on average, like 5 years. This stock moves quite a bit, right? Now you're going to tell me, Dan, well, he can just, if say Alta does drop to 350, which is what his strike was, he can just sell he can, buy the shares, be forced to, and he can sell them right away. It's no risk. And what I would tell you, this stock has gotten obliterated at certain times in its history. So for you to think that you're going to be able to easily, the stock just starts gently, slowly dropping to 350. He gets executed on his contract and then he just sells the shares immediately. And there's no risk. It's like, no, this stock on earnings, some of these drops represent earnings misses by this company and it gets obliterated. This company's lost. You can see here in very short order, it was 550 at the end of April 2023. And I remember this. And then it dropped to 400, right? This was an earnings. This was due to an earnings. I don't know, it was a miss combined with like issues with like stealing and just the macro. But you get the picture. Within a week span, this stock got annihilated. I mean, that's a pretty big drop. You're taking that risk on. And there's theta decay, right? You're not just holding the shares. Because if you're just holding the shares, it didn't matter. You rode through this whole drop in 2023. And right now, at a certain point, you were up a bit. So he's taking on all these risks that just don't really do anything for you, in my opinion. It's just, I think he's wasting your time as an investor for a 1-2% yield over the market to take on the risk of selling contracts. It's just mind-boggling. And how do you know the stock's going to drop? He's adding assumptions, and this is another problem. He's adding assumptions. If you like the stock, you looked at it, you understand the investment at 380, which it is right now, just buy the damn stock, okay? So I don't get that part confuses me. So you like the company, it's valued properly, or, you think it's valued fairly, or it's a value play. That's his thing at 380 or 390. Why don't you just buy the stock? Why do you need more drop? Because what if the stock never drops again? What if this is the bottom? What if 380 is the bottom and this thing rips to 600 over the next like 2 years and you never see 350? So here we go. Again, he's picking up pennies in front of a moving train. It's just like pointless. In the end, you just cap your gains. He gets all the premium from the contract and there's no other upside on this thing. So he collects that premium you think is so great. But if the stock rips, look at that missed potential. And this is what he's doing. This is why Paul underperforms the market. His whole strategy is just foolishness, and it just doesn't make sense to do this contract stuff that he's doing, selling puts. His video on Alta, he didn't even mention, like, he did the valuation and he talked about the US business and he showed like one of the 10K tables. He didn't even mention Mexico, right? Like, to me, like, I own some Alta. It's, as long as they hold their ground in the US, I'm not even projecting really any growth. It's like Cigna. I'm just projecting barely any growth, just sustaining their business in the US and just some kind of success in Mexico and maybe some further expansion down the line. And then also I thought about, like, maybe if Mexico doesn't work, they could still pivot. This is a very profitable, not even low debt, no debt company. They could pivot to just returning cash to shareholders like Home Depot does. So there's a few different ways this can work well for investors at the price it is right now. I don't need to worry about, I'm not worried about it's like, oh, I need to hit it at the very bottom. I don't understand why he's doing this. You're just going to miss. I guarantee you more times than not, this is what's going to happen. You all look at the premium generated and you think that's cash flow and it's free money. And he makes it sound like, you get to buy the stock at the price you want. But this is really the reality of what Paul's doing. You're just missing profit potential when you do these option plays. It's adding unnecessary complexity. And like I said, you're not really getting the yield of these contracts compared to what the market's giving you. It's like pointless. You're taking all this risk on for like 1-2% return gain. It's just nonsense and it irritates me. And you don't need to learn how to sell contracts. I sold like 2 contracts ever in my life on McDonald's and I never did it again because I didn't want the shares to get called away. I don't care how high you set the premium or the strike so that, there's no risk of it getting hit actually. Okay, well, if I do that, I won't generate the yield that you think you're going to. The market's very efficient at pricing these options. So this is just wasting your time. It's nonsense. If you like the investment thesis on Alta, just buy the damn stock and don't add unnecessary complexity of options and theta decay. And there's no need to do this. This is just a rich boy playing with daddy's money. He doesn't really want to invest in any of these companies. Why does Paul do this? The reason I think Paul does this gives him deniability. So if Alta goes poorly, he can say, well, I really wasn't that long term. I was only doing it to generate premium. So he's got a cover story for if this investment does go wrong. He has some sort of deniability. So that's part of it. And honestly, this is just a rich, spoiled brat playing with dad's money on a trust fund. That's what this is. It's a waste of time for anyone that has a job. Like, if you're going to put this much effort, I want return, right? Instead of doing this shenanigans, why don't you go look for some small cap companies that have growth potential that could, I don't know, 4 to 6x. Like, I found a few I've showed briefly. Why don't you spend your time doing that? Because that actually would give you a pretty damn good return over the market rate. And that's worth your risk and worth your time to investigate. This is just wasting your time. This option junk. So I'm probably gonna do more videos on this because I'm starting to get these like premium farming contract channels. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't make sense to do this stuff. It's taking on units of risk that do not give you the potential return of what you think, in my opinion. And then the last part, remember, these are cash secured puts. So that means he has to take money and put it aside. The money to pay this contract if those 100 shares get, exercised. That money cannot do anything else for you. So you have money that's like stuck, right? And you cannot make new decisions on that money. That money is under a contract. So for that 29 days that he did that contract, he's got that money locked up basically because he has to be able to, he has to be able to buy those shares in the event of something going wrong. And the contract takes decision making away from you. You're making a decision about this company, Alta. So in his example, you're making a decision about Alta for the next 29 days. It takes decision making away from you. If you just buy the stock, you don't lose any decision making ability with the stock. If something bad happens at the company, you can sell your shares immediately, right? But he's making decisions about his investment in Alta, and you have to live with those decisions now for the length of the contract. I understand you can sell the contract in the future, but it just adds, again, unnecessary complexity, and he's making more assumptions than you need to. Basically, I just want to get a point. It's wasting your time. This stuff wastes your time. Index your core, and then you can have some satellite speculative positions, right? And I buy contracts. I don't understand the selling. Like, buying contracts is a tool that is used in an investment thesis. It's not the investment. It's a tool. It allows you to get greater exposure to an investment with less capital up front. So there's ways to use it, and that's how you use it. I'm rambling now, I suppose. So anyway, stay safe out there, and as always, avoid everything money and Paul. He will waste your time, and again, he underperforms in every market possible. And there's no reason to pay him any sort of money. I don't know what he's charging these days for his middle school level tool. So, all right, stay safe out there and have a good one.